Let's rank the infantry officers on this tier list. Now, there's not many of them, so we're going to quickly jump straight in, starting with the main ones. Now, the first one is going to be Rogue Edge. Rogue Edge, honestly, guys, is absolutely amazing. He's very, very strong when it comes to infantry, and quite honestly, he will end up doing the most amount of damage when it comes to an infantry offensive unit. Pairing with him, I'm going to have to put in S tier as well, is the Bear. These two together, guys, do phenomenal amount of damage. And quite honestly, whoever you pair the Bear with, he will increase the damage by a lot. So, keep that in mind, guys. These two are absolutely amazing when it comes to offensive infantry unit. Now, obviously, infantry isn't really used offensively that much. It is more of a defense unit. But you do start seeing a lot more infantry offenses. I see more infantry offense the more I play this game. So, honestly, they're a really, really nice combination. Moving on, we have got here, let's take a look. I'm actually going to put him in A tier. I forgot his name already, but he is absolutely not S tier. And quite frankly, I think he definitely isn't B tier. He is decent at the game. He's pretty okay, especially in an offensive. Let's just say you are somehow an infantry main account. He would be an A tier for that purpose. You know, he has some AoE damage. He does a decent amount of damage with his AoE. And I'm actually going to pair him nicely with this. So you're going to see pairs forming, because when you're using infantry, you mostly are using pairs with other infantry officers. He's actually not bad. Iron Bastion, I've bashed him in the past about being terrible, but that was from a point of view of, you know, there are better officers, which there are. You know, if I had an infantry offense and only had one infantry offense, I would not choose these two in A tier. I would choose the two in B tier. But let's just say I'm an infantry main account, which shout out to Granny. Most of you might remember him. If you are running multiple infantry, he's definitely going to be good for that purpose. Moving on, we're going to have a B tier here. White Wolf is decent, guys. I'm not saying she's not bad. She could potentially be A tier when it comes to infantry officers, because there aren't that many of them. But we're gonna keep her in B tier now, just because she isn't quite as good as the others, retrospectively, for that unit. Moving on, we have got another S tier officer here. When it comes to defensive, whether it be tanking a base, whether it be just out in the field, she is defensively the best officer. And quite frankly, she's always paired up with Angel Light, especially if you are in that sort of defense situation. Heals your unit, has so much blast mitigation, and overall, they just work perfectly as a team at the current stage in the game. Even right now, these two together is the best combination you can have free to play when it comes to tanking a base. So with that being said, guys, moving on to the next one, we have got Wanderlust. Now, Wanderlust is a versatile officer, guys, but he works exceptionally well on a infantry unit as well. And he's basically kind of the exclusive lounge version of Bear. Bear is the infantry version of him. They're kind of the 1 and 2 in the same, if I'm honest with you. They both buff the normal attack and just the overall damage of your unit. So, again, I think that he's definitely S tier for infantry. So, moving on, guys, we have got Lady Shadow. Now, Lady Shadow, for me, I think, obviously, when it comes to how good she is on an infantry, she works really well in that offense stage. I would definitely rank her higher than these two in A tier. But of course, unless you're using 5 infantry, you're probably going to be using Shadow on a different unit, like your tanks or your rocket launcher or something like that. But when it comes to just purely infantry, she is an S tier officer if you're using her on an infantry unit. Very, very good. Lots of normal attack, lots of offensive capabilities. Now, moving on to Arbitrator, guys. Arbitrator has to go in S tier as well, because when it comes to tanking a base and that defensive, other than Angel of Light, pretty much the only other better option you can get out of these two is by switching out Angel of Light for Arbitrator. That is the best option when it comes to tanking a base. It really does suck that we are on Gen 5 officers right now, and we're still having to use, if you're free to play, you still have to use a Gen 1 officer for tanking a base. They have announced that apparently they're bringing out one, but they've been saying that for over a year now. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if we're going to see a new tanking officer for infantry anytime soon. We can only hope and pray, guys. But for now, Arbitrator definitely is S tier, because he's basically an exclusive lounge officer that can go on an infantry for tanking a base. Now we're going to move on to the more versatile officers as well that work on an infantry, but probably, again, not going to be used on one too well. But Eagle definitely does work on an infantry, has a lot of offensive capabilities. Now, the next one is going to be really weird, and it's honestly going to be my last officer. All of these will work on an infantry, if I'm honest with you. But again, I mean, if I wanted to include them, I can, but I don't really want to talk about them because they're not really going to be used on infantry too much. But here it is. This one here, which is really, really, really weird, guys, okay? If you are a free-to-play player and your infantry is a tanking unit, so let's just say you're attacking a base and your infantry is what's tanking. If you do not have this combination here, which is obviously Everbloom with Angel of Light, well, Angel of Light is a Gen 1 officer. Now, I never got her as a Gen 1 officer because I don't want to waste my statues on a Gen 1 officer. So I actually use this guy. Now, I use this guy, Uncle, as my secondary on tanking a base. Now, 3 out of the 4 skills he has work on tanking a base. And they are better than any other officer in the game. And he is a tank main. It's so weird. He's a tank main. And the reason he's a tank main is that I mentioned 3 out of 4 skills. One of the skills he has is only HP for the tanks. And that is it. Other than that, though, every other skill, the shield, the damage resist, the special, the normal resist, and stuff like that, all work on any unit. So with that being said, if you don't want to waste 720 statues on a Gen 1 officer, these two together, Everbloom and Uncle, work. That's the second best free-to-play officer combination for tanking a base. So that's why I'm including him. Even though he's a tank officer, I have to put him on this list because a lot of people might not realize that he is really good when it comes to tanking a base. Well, I say really good. He's the best, second best option we have free-to-play. That's why I'm including him. But as always, guys, this is going to be the list. It's a short little video compared to all the others because there's so many more others for the other retrospect. But with that being said, I think that I'm happy with this list here. The same way as before, guys, please grab the link down below in the description. Please rearrange how you would rank these officers when it comes to your infantry tier list, and please send the screenshots over into the Discord. The Discord link is also down below. And also join the Discord every single week after my stream I do on a Sunday. I end up uploading a free gift code over onto the Discord as well. So if you want to get some free goodies, that's another reason to join the Discord. As always, I appreciate you all. Hope everyone has a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.